Good evening, my name is Kevin Dusk. I'm the president of Prime Rogue Inc. and welcome to Rogue Insights. Tonight, we're going to talk about JDAM's Joint Direct Attack Munitions. You probably know why, after Nasrallah was taken out by the Israelis with these gadgets, and gadgets is a bit euphemistic. Love it if you drop us a like, a follow, share. It would be much appreciated. But we're going to get started by talking about what JDAMs are. JDAMs aren't a type of bomb in and of itself, but think of them more like, if you're a programmer, like a tech stack. It's a precision-guided kit that attaches to a traditional dumb bomb, just a bomb that drops, you know. And it fits it with basically GPS and inertial guidance technologies in the same way that the cruise missiles that were used in the early Gulf War period allowed for the U.S. to, like they claimed, shoot a cruise missile through a window. And this is kind of transformed air-to-ground warfare by allowing conventional air power to engage in high-precision strikes. If you think back to World War II and, the firebombing of Dresden and other mass bombing campaigns, there were tons of civilian casualties, and those are frowned upon more than ever. JDAMs still lead to these. I mean, there were apparently 4 apartment blocks knocked out in the Nasrallah strike, but they are a lot more precise. And they also can be tied to 2,000-pound bombs that can, as the name would suggest, bust bunkers. They're effective and highly used in urban warfare and in terms of counterterrorism, and that's because targets are often embedded in urban environments or in kind of protected areas such as the caves that were so ubiquitous back in the Afghanistan days. And if we look at Nasrallah's death, basically the JDAMs that were used there allowed Israel to use this inertial guidance and GPS to very distinctly target the area where that underground bunker was between those 4 buildings. And that's really important. And if we look at how these JDAMs have fit into the United States and Israel's how shall we say, military doctrines. If you read Rise and Kill First, that's a great book, and I'll link it down in the description, by Ronen Bergman. It gets into how Israel had, and I talked about this yesterday a bit, engaged in such significant targeted assassination campaigns. And they've allowed for these assassinations to take place from the air without drones, thus allowing for time on target to be quick. If you launch an F-15, it can be a lot quicker than having a drone loitering if you have a last-minute intel indication that a certain target is there. So when JDAMs were used to kill Nasrallah, they got an action orientation. They maybe had a drone loitering overhead, but perhaps didn't have the carrying power to drop this big of a bomb, or as many bombs as were needed. So F-15s were deployed, 15-minute flight time to Beirut, and boom. That's as simple as it is. You just slap these kits on the bomb, and they become smart. If only we could do that to humans. But yeah, as Bergman gets into in Rise and Kill First, Israel has a long history of doing this, and there are significant ethical questions associated with which we discussed yesterday. But Jeremy Scahill gets into this in Dirty Wars, another book I'll drop in the description. And the U.S. has employed very similar tactics throughout the War on Terror, Yemen, Afghanistan, Iraq, pounding caves, trying to get at terrorists, sometimes not even knowing if targets were hit because everything was obliterated, for one. And in the second instance, there wasn't always a special forces team to go check it out before things were moved. So in some cases, the results of these strikes have not really been known. But we are seeing an increasing reliance on JDAMs and very similar technology. At some point, the Biden administration had tried to put pressure on Israel by cutting off their supply of JDAMs and of 1 and 2,000-pound bombs, but they quickly got over that and started providing them again. And we're seeing, Israel burn through these, which is going to, probably indicate something about how AI is going to be integrated into future strikes in urban environments. And that is something that's scary, because we're talking about automated targeting and the potential errors that could bring about. When you combine that with a 2,000-pound bomb, rather than a 500-pound bomb or a Hellfire missile, you've got some big problems on your hands. But at the end of the day, JDAMs are here to stay, and weapons are likely to grow more and more precise, but precision does not mean no civilian casualties. In fact, it can still mean a lot, as the Israeli war in Gaza has shown. If you're leveling an apartment building, even if you're roof knocking at first, you're gonna kill civilians. The question is how many you're willing to kill to get at which target. But, hey, this is a strategy that we're seeing in modern warfare. It's typically applied against smaller powers by the great powers. When we come back to having great power war in the near future, is this going to be what's prevailing? If so, that might be a very, very, very scary thought. I mean, I don't particularly foresee JDAMs being dropped on New York City, but who the hell knows what is coming. Again, Kevin Duska, Prime Rogue Inc., Rogue Insights, today, the 29th of September 2024, 8:21 p.m. in Calgary, Alberta. Please drop us a like, check out the books in the description below, follow, subscribe, whatever it's called, and share this with a friend, an enemy, a frenemy, or whatever. Thank you so much for watching.